Good afternoon everyone, thank you very much for tuning in to my latest video. As I said in that last post, I got a communication from a case manager that's still working in the DWP, and they've informed me there's been a slight change in their situation. It's actually gotten worse, and they've proceeded to tell me that they're going to, each time that this happens or that things of this nature sort of prohibit them from doing their job, they're going to inform me so I can then inform you. Now, what this individual told me, that I have to take this at face value, and someone said to me the other day there, how do you know they're telling the truth? And it's true, I don't know they're telling the truth. All I can do is sort of use my experience and listen to what they're saying and try and gauge it that way. Obviously discernment's a big part of it as well. But what they told me was that it was indeed, it's getting worse. So, see, I didn't even have this information when I was there. They've told me that their casework is supposed to be 800 people at the absolute max. So there's no more than 800 people. Recently it's been pushed that they've got 2,500 to deal with. So that's more than 3 times the casework they're supposed to have. And there's obviously reasons for this. Immigration's a big part of it, which we've discussed at length in these previous videos. But there's another part of it that they'd mentioned to me. They had said they're getting more and more claim reviews. Now, if you remember, those claim reviews are the ones where they can basically just slap a sanction on there, an unofficial sanction. It's not called a sanction, but it is an unofficial sanction, because they can say, right, we need to review your claim because we believe that there's an illegitimacy with it. Now, they don't need any evidence. So that probably, back in the day, they probably needed a phone call from someone or something along that nature to obviously to make that action. But it would appear now they don't need to do that. They can just basically choose a name. Oh, picking names out of hats. You'll do, and you'll do. We'll suspend your claim, and then once we get your money back to you, we'll do it to more people. Now, this is coldly calculated. There's no doubt about it, because if you know that a case manager's casework is 800 people or 800 claimants, then why the fucking hell would you be putting why would you be putting 2,500 bloody claimants onto there if they can only handle 800 at a time? And this individual said to me, they said, we are lucky to get through 90 journals. So that's I mean, that is quite a lot, but they're lucky to get through that now. That's what I think the way they'd said it, that's probably what they're looking to get through. But they don't even get anywhere near that now. And that's not even before they get into things like housing issues or wrong wages that have been reported. So they're having to get through this reviewed casework, and it's just not enough. Block payments as well is another part of it, they tell me. Before so obviously they're trying to deal with block payments first and claim reviews. But what they're doing is, they're just putting ever more on top of them for obvious reasons. It's to push people further into hardship. Now, there's something to remember here. What is the constant here when all this nonsense is happening? The constant is that the claimants don't get their money, which means they're saving money. Now, I seen this goon on GB News. I don't know if it was the day or yesterday. It was the day I watched the video. Is it Patrick Christie's his name is or something? I can't even remember. But he's sitting on GB News, right, and he's going on about how he'd been reading these statistics that more than half of Britain claim benefits. Well, yes, Patrick, they do, if that's even your bloody freaking name. I don't know if it is, but that's because the vast majority of people who claim benefits are working because of the way it's set up, because it's a universal income. They want everyone on it, whether you're working or not. And the fact that you, sir, have come out with that bloody statement shows that you're a dinosaur. I mean, some people actually, they're so far behind, they actually think they're leading. And he is definitely one of them, and he pissed me off when I seen that video this morning. Oh, everybody just go on benefits. Well, they're trying to push you onto them anyway, mate, so you'll not have to worry about that. But this is what they're putting out there, and there was a woman on with them. And she was defending it and saying, look, it's not easy on benefits, this is obviously wrong, and he's just poo-pooing it and laughing at her basically, and it's just absolutely unreal. And I mean, I tried to post a comment. This is where we're at with YouTube, right? This is where we're at with it. This is why they bought it off the people that bloody made it, because to do things which I'm just about to tell you. I put a comment on that video to say, look, I used to work for the DWP, and I've actually just done a series of videos. You might want to check them out, because DWP are committing fraud on their claimants. It's the other way around. But yet they're still putting, I mean, GB News is supposed to be alternative thinking. Well, that's no alternative. That's no better than the BBC. And I would love if somebody could send him this, because he needs to hear it. But that just shows you how far like that people are behind, because they do not understand. And like I was saying there, YouTube actually, they censored my bloody comment for me saying, all I put was, at first I put, yes, the DWP are committing fraud against claimants. It's actually the other way about. Wouldn't let me put that. I tried to tailor it another way. They wouldn't let me put that. I then just put, please check out my channel. They blocked that as well. So I ended up just posting the link, and the link it has remained there. So this is why I'm doing this, because these people, and there's people in the bloody comments that are doing it and all, saying, oh, get a job. It's like, well, most of them have got a job, mate. So the fact that you don't know that shows you how far you are behind here. It shows that you're not paying attention. These dinosaurs, and I get them in the comments, obviously everyone's entitled to their view, and I would never ever prohibit that. I'm an advocate for free speech. But some of their views are despicable. But when they start abusing other people, like I've seen people that have maybe been in employment, and then they start abusing other people and saying that they're lying about their situation, I just remove them from the channel. Any trolls will be removed from the channel that are doing that, like, because that's out of order. Calling, I mean, somebody like me sitting here that's saying this is happening, and then someone in the bloody comments says, well, yeah, it's happening to me. For a person to come along and start obviously trivialising that situation and calling them a liar, no, I'm sorry, man, you're rotten to your core if you're doing that, like, and it doesn't say a lot about you as a person, and this world has no need for the like of you. So I would just like to put that out there, and this is very important. This is important information that even the agents I worked with won't be privy to, because like I say, 3 times the casework, and it's no wonder no one can get a journal message back, or it's no wonder people are having their claims suspended and it not being suspended for weeks on end. I mean, some people are waiting. I'd seen people that were waiting a whole month with no payment, just because they can put a message on there to say, we believe in the legitimacy of your claim. And that's democracy. That's what you put your vote in for. And all these other goons that are in the comments saying, oh, you don't know what you're on about, you need to vote. It's like, no, mate. Every time you vote, you're handing credibility to a system that allows these bloody things. Every single time you go, you're a drone. These are drones. I'm sorry, the people that are voting are drones. They are drones. They are either too lazy to think, or you've not got 2 brain cells to rub together to think. Because if you, I said to a guy the other week there, you seem to be saying that everything's fine with this situation, that everything's working fine. Maybe it is for some people, but for what I could see, the vast majority of people are struggling. And that's why I had to do what I had to do. And luckily, man, there's so many people have contacted me as well that used to work in the DWP and have said, Alan, you're absolutely right what you're saying. That's why I left. I couldn't do it anymore, and I can't count how many of those messages I've had between emails, comments and Instagram to say that yes, you're right what you're saying, and this is why I'd left. I'd been there for years, I couldn't take it anymore. And one by one, the decent people are leaving, like, and they're few and far between, and it's something I've not said nowhere near enough of. There is decent case managers and work coaches out there definitely is. They're just few and far between. And I salute every one of you that are trying to do the right thing, that are working under these constraints as this individual is. And I can't imagine the decent people that are doing this, the state of their mental health, the position they must end up in at night time. I dread to think how they're getting through that, genuinely. because it must be very difficult, because I see myself as a buffer between the claimant and the DWP. These people are actually in it, they're in the processes, they're actually receiving their pay from them, and that I would believe would be a lot harder. And I do salute every single person that's doing their best for people, and I would call on you to continue to do that. And anybody that wishes to contact me with information like this, or any stories or anything that you want out there that you do not want your face out there, or maybe you're in a situation like this person was, they obviously couldn't leave the job, they're in a situation. See, I'm very lucky. It's easier for me to make this decision because I've not got the same responsibility as everyone else. So I've only got myself to worry about, whereas other people have got kids, they've got homes, they've got wives, husbands, whatever. And this is why it's harder. And so all they can really do is try and stay within the institution and try and do the best they can, and possibly feed information to people like me, because I will put it out there. That's no problem at all, because this does need to change. And luckily I've had some contact from people who do want to make change, and I'm going to be looking in at doing that as well. I'm going to draw up a letter and send it to I know I've said it's pointless, but I'm going to you have to do something. There's no point just making a video, to let them know that the response that this video's got, and where we're at, and the contacts that I've had from case managers that are within are still within the DWP. And there's another thing you must do as well, people. Every single person here, whether it's your own statement, your spouses, your children, the person you're caring for, your whoever it is, I don't care. If they're having money problems, you need to have and they're on universal credit or whatever, you need to have a conversation with them. Because I, on Sunday, had checked my mother's statement going right back, and I was horrified to see that she has got all these deductions on as well. I mean, I did check it last September, August and September I checked, and there was nothing on there. And that was why I'd said in the first videos it must not be in this area yet, but it is in this area, because I'd gone all the way back to January 2020. And all these deductions are on there. The housing's wrong, they add this deduction this month, and then the next one it's different. I mean, other benefit recovery, she's got no idea what it is. Tax credits, she's not been on tax credits for a long time. She's never had a letter to say she's been overpaid, and yet they've been deducting this money from her. And it's just, and she didn't, I mean, I'd been telling her for a year, she just didn't think it would have been happening to her, but she didn't look that deeply into it, because a lot of people don't realise you can scroll right to the bottom and see that there's deductions coming off. That was another thing that I had to say to people, that you can actually scroll. Oh, I never noticed that. Well, there you go. So I'll call on every single person, even if you're not struggling or anything, just go back through your statements and check them, because I've gotten another communication. Like, just before I get on to that, if there's any deductions on there that you are unaware of, or you've not consented to, or you don't even know what it is, you need to phone that line and you need to make them do their job. Because I got a communication from someone else who'd also told me, I can't remember if I put this in a video or not, that they've actually put on, the company that I worked for they've actually put on a second complaints line. Now, whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. I've no reason to think the individual that gave me that information would be lying, because why would they? And I would imagine that is the kind of thing that they would do after a video or after a channel like this comes along. So if they have done that, which I think they have, then get the line buzzing red hot. I'm sorry, agents, the ones that I spoke to before and that I work with, but this is serious. And these people that are doing this, they're psychopaths, and they're trying to kill people, and they are killing people, and it's time it bloody stopped. So please, just check your statements, just check your bloody statements, and if there is anything on there, you need to call up and demand payment disputes. Don't request, demand. Politely, but demand it, because that is your right, and it's their job. They're picking up earnings. They're picking earnings up, people. They're taking wages for supposedly serving you, but they're not doing it. So you need to make them do it, because up till now we've let them off the hook, but that is changing, thankfully. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.